evening, everyone. Today, my group consists of Kelvin Ching, Kee Zhen Wang, Yi Zhe, and I, Joshua Ang, going to introduce to all of you about integrated green project for resort.
Okay, so first, I will discuss about the floor plan of our resort. So this is the layout of our resort. The first green concept we are using is the natural lighting. As you can see here, we are using the natural lighting in the main wing of our resort and also the foyer of our resort. And the second concept we are using is the green roof. We are using the green roof for the rest of the building, and also we are not only concerned about the green concept using, and we are also focused about the aesthetic concept of our resort. So as you can see, we have built out a swimming pool by the beach. So for our guests, they can choose where they want to choose, either sea or beach or swimming pool. Okay, and besides that, we have our room here. As you can see, in the center of the room here, we provide spa, massage, and also sauna service to let our guests have a leisure time with their friends and family. So this is roughly about our layout of the resort. Thank you.
Okay, now I'd like to present more about the materials used for the construction of the resort. First, we go for the hotel, where you can see that we are using recycled steel for the roofing of the foyer and glass. And for the roof truss, we are using recycled steel and recycled universal I-beam. And for the concrete, we are using concrete with admixtures of rice husk ash and ferroc. Okay, so this is the structure of the reinforced column and beam, reinforced steel, and we are using natural lighting, which is the transparent film roof for the roofing. Next. Okay, for chalet, for the column and the beam of the chalet, we are using wood, timber for the column and beam, and glass. So, and the foundation of the chalet, we are using reinforced steel that covered with concrete plus rice husk ash plus ferroc admixtures. Okay, and we are also using bamboo for our columns and our beam. Okay, now I'd like to start more on the introduction. So what is integrated green and sustainable ideas? Okay, integrated green and sustainable ideas is the outcome of design philosophy that increase the efficiency of resources, reducing impact of health and environment, and effective usage of water, resources, and energy. So what is the rationale? What's the rationale behind the implementation of green and sustainable design? Okay, the rationale are in building industry, in building and construction industry, it contributes 41% of total United States energy consumption, 73% of electricity consumption, meanwhile 34% of carbon emission. Next, what are the benefits of green and sustainable approaches? Okay, first, it reduces negative impact on health and environment. It minimizes resources usage and better energy efficiency. So what are the principles in the implementation of green and sustainable ideas? First, usage of materials that has low ecological impact and sustainably produced. Besides that, it has to be durable, long-lasting, and has less frequent maintenance, and the renewability of the resources and low carbon emission. Therefore, now I'd like to brief to you about conventional design process. Conventional design process consists of design, bid and build, where the design concept, the architect design the building based on the owner's requirement. Then the architect helps the owner for the bidding process, and contractor are the one who build the structure according to architectural drawing. However, this method seems to be unreliable because it causes miscommunication that can cause conflict and cost overrun. Therefore, to overcome these circumstances, we come up with a new approach which is known as the integrated design process, which consists of conceptualization, design and build. Conceptualization, where the owner hires a group of qualified stakeholders such as engineers, contractor, consultant, owner and the architect to design the building based on green and sustainable approaches. After that, for the build process is a collaborative step or process where the building are built based on the collaborative ideas of all these stakeholders. Therefore, it definitely able to minimize the usage of materials and even fewer costs than needed for the construction. Therefore, what are the factors that taken into consideration for construction? First, strength of materials. Second, economic factor. And third, impact of health and environment.
So now, what are the objectives of our integrated green project? We have three objectives in doing the integrated green project. The first one is to discuss the best green alternative to replace conventional construction materials and its mechanical properties. And the second one is to review the best green and sustainable steps for our resort. And the final objective is to introduce the best methodology for management in context of sustainability.
Okay, thank you Joshua and Zhe Wang. My name is Kelvin and I'm going to talk about the green and sustainable system that will be installed in our resort. There are 4 green systems will be installed in our resort, which are the solar tubing system, natural lighting system, green roof system, and also the rainwater harvesting system. Okay, many of you may ask, what are those to do in our resort? And why solar tubing, why natural lighting, rain housing system, or the green roof system? Okay, let me explain to you and to let you all to explore and to widen your horizon. Okay, first we talk about the solar lighting system. Solar lighting system is a system that capture the sunlight by using a rooftop dome from the top of the roof to the ceiling, and then the sunlight will be transferred by using a reflective tube to the indoor, and the sunlight will be dispersed to the interior space by using a diffuser. Okay, solar lighting system bring us a lot of benefit, which are fast installation, save money, and also the protections of the UV light. Of course, our resort have also installed more than one lighting system. We are also install an in-tube solar electric system to collect the energy and to power the night light after dark. Okay, next we go to the natural lighting system. Natural lighting system is a system that by placing windows or other opening surfaces to allow the sunlight enter to the interior space. Okay, I hope you guys won't confused about the solar lighting system and the natural lighting system. Okay, solar tubing system is a system that have to transfer the sunlight by using a medium, which are the reflective tube, while the natural lighting system is a system that directly allows the sunlight enter to the interior space. Okay, and the benefits of the natural lighting system is almost same with the solar lighting system, which are save money and fast installation. Before we go to the next system, allow me to ask a question. Do you guys know what is the difference between the natural lighting and the electricity lighting? The answer is the natural lighting you don't have to pay, but you have to pay for the electricity lighting. Okay, so go to the next system, which is the green roof system. Green roof system. What is green roof system? Green roof or a living roof is a roof of a building that is covered partially or completely by vegetation or a growing medium. And the growing medium will be planted on the waterproofing membranes. And the green roof also brings us many advantages. It can lower the urban air temperatures and mitigate the heat island effect, and to reduce the air conditioning cost, and to reduce the carbon monoxide impact, and also to neutralize the acid rain effect. Okay. Next, we go to the rainwater harvesting system. This system is the system of the reusage and recycling of the rainwater. Okay, and this rainwater harvesting system brings us many advantages which allow us to better utilize an energy resource, since the drinking water is not easily renewable, and also it can reduce our water bill. And the water collectors can be used for several non-drinking purposes, which are washing car, flushing toilet, watering garden. And being green is more than just buying alcohol, and it is an unshakable commitment to a sustainable lifestyle.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am now standing here is to explain what are the materials we are going to use in our integrated green project. First, we divided our green materials into two categories. The first one is in the construction of our hotel, and second one is in the construction of our chalet. Let me explain about the chalet construction. We are going to use two construction materials. The first one is the bamboo, and the second one is timber. Bamboo for environmental factor. Bamboo is a renewable and natural source, and bamboo is the fastest growing plant in the world, with the rate about 3 cm per hour. And the total area forest of bamboo is around 40 million hectares, which is 12,000 times of the area of UKM. So with this large distribution of bamboo area, the costing of bamboo will not be too high. For your information, the costing of bamboo is just about 50 pieces of bamboo is just about $20. And for the next construction material is the timber. Timber is a renewable and natural source, and the energy needed to convert timber into wood and hence into structural timber is significantly lower than that required by the other structural materials such as steel and concrete. So when we undergo conversion of timber, it is just only give very small impact to the environment as compared to the other structural materials. And for your information, the pricing of timber is just about $305 per cubic meter, which is quite cheaper than the pricing of steel. Let us move to the construction of our hotel. We are going to use recycled universal beam and also the rice husk ash and the ferrule. For the recycled universal beam, why we use recycled universal beam as our construction material in the hotel? First, for the environmental factor, remodification of a used universal beam is require very small energy than making a new one universal beam. Okay, besides that, in the construction of our hotel, we are using three construction material, which are the recycled universal beam, rice husk ash, and also the ferrule. Let me introduce about the recycled universal beam. For environmental factor, remodification of a used universal beam contribute only very small environmental effect to the environment as compared to make a new universal beam. And for your information, the pricing of recycled universal beam is just about $220, but the pricing of a new universal beam is about $450. And about the rice husk ash, why we are going to use rice husk ash as our building materials? Okay, rice husk ash is used to replace the cement in the concrete. As we all know, when cement react with water and undergo chemical reaction, large amount of carbon dioxide will be released to the atmosphere. So to prevent this from happening, we are using the rice husk ash to replace the cement when making a concrete. And for information, the pricing of rice husk ash is about $90 per ton.
Okay, now I'd like to go more about the mechanical properties of the materials used for the construction of this resort. Okay, for the construction of the chalet, we are using bamboo and timber, where the compressive strength of bamboo is at the range of 40 to 80 megapascal, whereas bending strength is 50 to 150 megapascal, with the modulus of elasticity 23.3 gigapascal, which is 11.63% of A36 steel, and with the tensile strength of 180 megapascal. Meanwhile, timber has the compressive strength of 70 to 74 megapascal, with modulus of elasticity 7.2 to 14.6 gigapascal. For the construction of the hotel, we are using recycled I-beam steel for the roof truss and recycled steel. The steel we are using is A36 steel. A36 steel has young modulus of 200 gigapascal with both tensile and compressive strength of 400 megapascal. So now I'd like to brief why do we use I-beam. Okay, beam under high stress along axial fibers are the one that are furthest away from neutral axis. Ideal beam is the one with the least cross-sectional area needed to achieve the section modulus. Since section modulus depends on moment of inertia, therefore, an effective beam must have most of the materials furthest away from the neutral axis. Therefore, the further the amount of material from neutral axis, the larger the section modulus, and it can resist higher bending moment. Therefore, why do we choose I-beam? I-beam has most of the materials located in the flange of the I-beam instead of the web, where the neutral axis is located at the web of the I-beam. Therefore, for an ideal beam, it has 0.5 of the product of the area and the height. Meanwhile, I-beam have approximately 0.35 of the product of the cross-sectional area and the height of the beam, which is relatively higher compared to rectangular and circular beam. Therefore, I-beam is chosen as the material used for the roof truss of the hotel. Okay, next, I'd like to explain more about rice husk ash. Rice husk ash with 20% admixtures of rice husk ash in the concrete it can increase the modulus of elasticity of the concrete up to 41.8 megapascal. Meanwhile, the compressive strength of the concrete with admixtures of 25% of rice edge can achieve 93.28 megapascal for 28 days age. Besides that, our hotel are constructed bi-layered of bricks so that the middle and the middle vacant layer can be occupied with concrete, which acts as a heat insulator.
Now, I'll discuss about the management of the resort, and we have listed out 4 main points that should be used in our resort. The first point is to reuse, recycle and reduce. And the second point is to have a proper management of food service and also disposals of food waste. And the third one we have is to have the involvement of the stakeholders. And the last point is to save the waters and energy. Now, come back to the first point. The first point is to reuse, recycle and reduce. For the recycle part, we can provide recycling bins in both public areas, in kitchens and also the back office to make the recycling as easy as possible. And for the reuse, we can turn the old linen into linen bags and aprons, stand towels or ropes into cleaning clothes. And for the reduce part, we can reduce the newspaper distributions. And for the newspaper distributions, we only provide the newspaper in the public areas such as the lobby and asking the guests to request one when they are check-in instead of distribute one by one to every single rooms. And next, we move on to the second point, which is the proper management of food service and disposals of food waste. The first thing we can do to the food service is to donate the leftover food to the local non-profit organizations. And also we can compose it with biodegradable items. And the second things we can do is to provide the reusable items such as cloth makings, glass cup, silverware, and also ceramic dishes. And the third thing we can do is to serve locals and organic food. For example, we can plant an organic garden to provide fresh products for our guests. And the third point is to involve the stakeholders, which means to involve the management, the employees and also the guests. So to become a more eco-friendly resort is also largely depends on the staff and also the guest participations. So for the guests, the most easy way to involve them is to asking them to use their towels, their daily use more than once to save the energy use and also the water use. And for the employee, we can provide yearly training programs on green projects through grounds and also the buildings. And we can also ask them or request them to continually check the unused equipment of the hotel that have been left running. And we move on to the last point, which is save waters and also save energy. For the waters, we can install a low floor shower head in the toilet, and also we can switch the toilet into the low floor toilets, and also install the toilet tank fuel diverters to save the water's use. And for the energy, we can switch to LED lighting system. And as you know, LED lighting system they have more efficiency compared to the ordinary light bulb, which can help us to reduce the electricity use every month. And we can also encourage to use the daylight as much of the day as possible by installing the natural lighting system like we said just now. And this can also help us to save energy. That's all, thank you.
Okay, now I would like to go to the conclusion. So in a nutshell, after discussion and presentation, following are the objectives they already successfully achieved. First, to discuss the best green alternatives to replace conventional construction materials and its mechanical properties. Second, to review the best green and sustainable steps for the resort. And lastly, to introduce the best methodology for management in context of sustainability. Okay, now we like to go to the best green and sustainable steps. So after, in conclusion, we already chosen all these 4 steps are the best and are the most green and sustainable steps for resort. First, solar lighting system. Second, natural lighting. Third, green roofs. And fourth, rainwater harvesting system. Okay, for the steps, we already chosen that we are going to implement 3R practices, save everything that we use in a hotel, involvement of stakeholders, and energy and water saving. And lastly, for the materials, the best alternatives that can be used to replace the conventional materials are bamboo, timber, recycled universal beam, concrete with admixtures, which are rice husk ash and ferrule. That's all for this presentation. Okay. Then following are the references for the slide. Thank you. And that's all for our presentation today. Thank you.